This is probably the hardest video I've ever had to make. Now, this is going to be a little bit longer, but it is very, very important, so please, please watch until the end. I've tried to make this video a few times now, but I've been unable to find the words that won't get me banned on here. For those of you who haven't heard, on February 29th of this year, this man, Cody Roberts of Daniel, Wyoming, chased down a young 9-month-old wolf with his snowmobile, ran her over multiple times to incapacitate her, then drug her home where he taped her mouth shut, tortured her, and allowed his dogs to repeatedly attack her while she was incapacitated and defenseless. He then put a shock collar on her, took her to a local bar to show off his handiwork. He took pictures and videos with her before taking her outside the bar and beating her with a baseball bat. Then, when she still hadn't died from the repetitive beatings and torture, he eventually shot and killed her. In the state of Wyoming, it is legal to kill wolves at any time in 85% of the state by running them over with snowmobiles, cars, and ATVs. It is legal to drop cyanide bombs to kill them, set fire to their dens to kill their babies, and shoot them from helicopters. Because of these laws, the only consequence that Cody Roberts has faced is a $250 fine for being in possession of wildlife. To which he bragged, "I spent more money than that on drinks at the bar." To put things in perspective, the same week in the same town, a 17-year-old boy was fined $700 for being a minor in possession of alcohol. 2 weeks later, in the neighboring town of Pinedale, Wyoming, a 13-year-old Girl Scout was fined $400 for selling Girl Scout cookies outside her grandparents' driveway because it was on a public street. This shows you the twisted perspective in priorities that the Wyoming government and law enforcement have. The fact of the matter is that what is known as wolf whacking and coyote whacking, where people go out on snowmobiles and ATVs and run over wolves and coyotes for sport, is a culture in Wyoming, among other places. Simply Googling either of those phrases will show you plenty of disgusting comments and videos of people doing just that. So use your own discretion in looking up those things, because what you will find is truly disgusting and disturbing. This story went viral around the beginning of April, which then prompted the Wyoming Game and Fish Commission to allow public comments at their monthly meeting. I was on the Zoom call for that meeting with plans to speak my piece. However, after the commission handed out awards to each other for their gold standard performance in managing wildlife, those are their words, myself and many others were not allowed to speak. Nothing came of this meeting, which seemed very unjust. Then come to find out, the state of Wyoming and the Game and Fish Commission has paid Cody Roberts' trucking company over $130,000.
Cody Roberts in a conflict of interest? Well, working for the state of Wyoming might be his trucking company, C. Roberts Trucking, LLC. And here it is in black and white. This is from the state's transparency platform. You can see that his business worked with none other than the Game and Fish Commission 12 times, the Department of Transportation 16 times. So the question you might be asking, how much has the state paid C. Roberts Trucking LLC since these online records date back? If you said something around $130,000, then you're right. The Wyoming Fish and Game Commission or Department has not publicly released this information, possibly because it's on the website and we would have to go dig for it. In fact, though, none of the commissioners mentioned their so-called working relationship during the 2-day meeting they held.
And on top of that, Cody Roberts' wife is an elected official on the Zoning Planning Committee. Kind of seems like a conflict of interest, doesn't it? The more digging myself and my team has done, the more we have come to learn that Cody Roberts is part of the protected class in Wyoming. Pictured here is Cody Roberts' aunt, Jeanne Ivy Roberts, mocking the whole situation by holding the wolf's skin with her mouth taped shut. Again, this is very difficult for me to share this information and keep my emotions and anger under control, which is why I've had to script this video. I don't know if you can see, but I have goosebumps right now. We have been working with an attorney from New York to try to find grounds to prosecute Cody Roberts for animal cruelty, as his actions absolutely constitute the definition of animal cruelty shown here in the Wyoming state statute. However, the sheriff's department says unless the person who filmed these videos comes forward, they cannot do anything about it, which at this point seems unlikely to happen out of fear of this so-called protected class that Cody Roberts is a part of. My good friend and world-famous dog trainer, Jonas Black, has organized a biker ride from Austin, Texas to Daniel, Wyoming on May 23rd to bring awareness to these sick and disgusting atrocities. The ride will make stops at multiple Harley-Davidson dealerships along the way, in these cities. I will post a picture of the stops. Feel free to pause and screenshot the route. If you would like to join the ride on a bike or in a car, contact myself or Jonas Black and we will get you more details on the ride. We have set up a GoFundMe, which I will link in my bio, to raise money to donate to the Wyoming Wildlife Advocates and Wolves of the Rockies to help change these laws from allowing these disgusting things to take place, or at the very least, manage them in a humane way. We will be donating the money to these groups outside the Green River Bar in Daniel, Wyoming, the location where Cody Roberts tortured and killed this young wolf pup. Now let me make something perfectly clear. I am not against hunting or wildlife management. That is not what this is about. This is about the inhumane torture of this wolf and animal cruelty. As the laws stand right now, wolves can be hunted and killed at any time in 85% of Wyoming by any means necessary. There is no wolf season or limit that can be killed, as there are with other animals like elk, deer, antelope, moose, and bighorn sheep. What we are asking for is reasonable and humane practices of wildlife management. If wolves are to be hunted and managed, then there needs to be clear limits on them, just like there are with many other animals, of which have far greater populations than wolves. We have been trying to get these government officials to change these laws, but so far they have zero interest in doing so, which at this point leaves us no option other than to have wolves relisted as endangered species with federal protection until a more humane and practical approach to their management can be created. Now, obviously, I have my own biased feelings about hunting wolves, but I do understand wildlife management. If a wild wolf was a threat to my family or to my own wolves, I would be okay with handling it humanely. This is about the inhumane methods of animal cruelty that are being carried out as a sport and a pastime. I desperately need all of your help in bringing this man to justice and holding him and the state of Wyoming accountable. I am especially calling on hunters, the good and ethical hunters that respect wildlife, to join me in this cause. People like Cody Roberts are tarnishing the name of many good and ethical hunters that there are. It's this type of behavior that leads to drastic black and white measures that many hunters do not want to see happen. Again, I am on your side of ethical and humane hunting and wildlife management. So we need to be on the same team to help restructure these laws in an ethical way that makes sense for both you and the wildlife. If Cody Roberts truly believed this baby wolf was a threat to himself or livestock, he could have shot and killed her on site, which of course I don't like, but I can understand. There was absolutely no reason for him to prolong her suffering, torture her, and take pictures and videos with her for attention. Just look at the joy on this guy's face. It's absolutely disgusting. I'm going to tag a number of other major public figures in the comments of this video in hopes that we can gather their alliance and support with our cause. I'm also asking you to please tag them yourself as well so we can get their attention. Also, feel free to tag anyone else you can think of that can support this cause. If you would like to help support our cause, the best thing you can do is share this video as much as possible everywhere you can, and tag all of the people in the comments of this video to help get their attention and take action against these disgusting events. If you need help with how to share this video in its entirety, please send me a DM and I will help you to do so. You can also donate to the GoFundMe if you would like to. As of filming this video, we have already raised over $37,000. Again, the link is in my bio. Or if you would like to join the ride, that would be incredible as well. The town of Daniel, Wyoming has a population of only 158 people, so we want to show massive strength in numbers rolling into their town. Now, I have to make this very clear to anyone who would like to accompany the ride. This has to be a peaceful protest. Enough violence has already been committed, and we do not want to sink to their level. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video in its entirety, and thank you all so very much for any and all of your support.